Welcome back to Momentous Struggle, a Star Wars Shatterpoint podcast. On today's episode, Aubrey and I are going to talk about the rebellion that dies today. Yep, that's right, the Iden box. So we're pretty excited about this one. So let's go ahead and jump on into it. As always, joined by Aubrey. Aubrey, how are you doing? It's Mother's Day, and we're recording. It's kind of nice that we're able to record on Mother's Day, for me anyway, because my wife on Mother's Day always leaves the house. Her idea of Mother's Day is she wakes up at 5 o'clock in the morning, goes and gets herself a coffee and her gluten-free donut from the coffee shop down right around the corner, and then she goes to the river with her business partner, who is also like our we've been friends forever, and they go and paddleboard down the Salt River here in Arizona, and that's what they do, is spend an entire day enjoying the outdoors away without any children around them. And it's glorious for her.
Okay. All right. So right now, I mean, that's actually, we both have some adventurous partners, I guess, because I told you before we started recording that they're going to Dylan's up at Lake Pleasant. There's a restaurant right on the water there at the dock at Lake Pleasant here in Arizona, and the detail I left out though is they're also going kayaking for an hour. So they're
on the lake.
Yeah, on the lake. So
nice.
And Talia, as far as I know, has only gone kayaking a couple times. Like one of my magic friends up in, well, he just moved, but up until recently up in Nevada, we brought out kayaks on Lake Tahoe, and that was a lot of fun. But
yeah, the lake's not too bad to kayak this time of year. You don't have all of the partiers out there quite yet, so we usually go out to the lake. Sorry, good to go on a tangent here. We usually go out to the lake on like Fridays or Saturdays, or Fridays or Thursdays during the week when you don't have so many like partiers and people out on the lake going crazy, because you can enjoy it a little bit more. Mother's Day, hopefully everybody's out like at the restaurants and not on the lake, so she's not going to get washed overboard on her kayak and everything like that. So hopefully there's no bad stories coming back from your household. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, usually it's Memorial Day, right? It's by the time Memorial Day rolls around, then Lake Pleasant's just full of people and boats and everything.
Yeah, but it's a good time. We go out there and we, like I said, we take the paddle boards and we have some kid kayaks and everything like that. So we're outdoorsy family as it is. So we enjoy that. But yeah, that's today anyway. So I mean, like I said, it's kind of nice. My wife gets out, and like I usually spend once we get done here, I'll start making her dinner. She likes I'm making a for our foodies that are in our Discord, that I'll let them know I am making Cajun style shrimp and andouille sausage in a pasta dish, and I'm making that for Mother's Day. That's one of her favorites.
Dang, you got me beat, Todd. I'm not making anything like that. I got the gift. One of the errands we had to run was making sure we had a card, but I am not much of a cook. I will make sure that one of the pre-planned meals are prepared because that's safer. No. I can hear all of your disapproving stares over the internet. That is much safer than letting me attempt to cook anything.
My wife's love language is food, so that's how I always win her heart over. Like yesterday, because she has to eat gluten-free, they have started making gluten-free biscuits, the Red Lobster biscuits. You can buy the package for them, and they're gluten-free. And I make her gluten-free shrimp, like deep fried shrimp. So I made that for her yesterday. And then today I make her other shrimp, because shrimp is her food. And like I said, food is her love language. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. So just a long way to get around to saying happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. We do appreciate all the moms out there. I know that there's probably not a lot of moms that listen to our podcast, but for all of them that do, happy Mother's Day. You're worth it. We think you're awesome.
Well, or hey, hopefully you have already thanked your mother. I mean, y'all must have a mother somewhere too. So even if you're not a mom listening, like, hey, go thank your mom, because I'm sure Todd will agree with this. Without our partners, this operation would not be running as smoothly. We definitely get a lot of help behind the scenes. So,
right. Yeah. Keeping kids occupied so they're not running in to sit there and ask a question. Yeah, my 7-year-old will like, hey dad, no, I'm doing this. I mean, there's been times I like you. I don't know if anyone's seen it on the podcast, but there's times where I'm like, "Ugh," like where like because my 7-year-old will walk in, I'm like, okay. So yeah, that does happen from time to time. So for all those who didn't listen or aren't watching on YouTube, it's me going, oh my god. So, but yeah, did you have you had a chance to get any games in this week at all?
Nah, this week's been more about the house. We're still working on getting the house to rights, so I spent a good chunk of time actually rearranging it. I mean, this is gonna sound like I just did it for me, but I had to rearrange all of my magic cards and put them into different containers to get them out of the way so that I could move a table over here that the 3D printers that I still haven't had time to troubleshoot can then go on that table, but I'm staring at a stack of like five more boxes of not magic stuff, just other stuff, and I'm like, so when we're done recording, I'm gonna have to figure out where that stack of five
Uh,
boxes is gonna go.
I hear, yeah, I get you. I know how it is. So yeah, no, I actually, so on Friday, because it's been a crazy week at our house. So, but on Friday, I actually was able to get out. I went to Gamers Guild because our local Matt, as everyone knows, Matt Butcher, he's kind of a big deal in the in the Shatterpoint community. Even if Aubrey doesn't think he's a good player, uh,
Wow, wow. No. I've seen this video you said, Todd. Yeah, okay, all right. I just want the record to reflect that. Okay, we've all played these games. I'm gonna tell it to you again, Todd. I told it to you before recording. I'm gonna tell everyone else. So when you play games, there's always this like category of player that's kind of salty, and everything that goes wrong in their game has nothing to do with them somehow. And they have, and this same mentality always has this like, well, the best players in the world are just magically better than everyone else because they're just so star spangled awesome that they just magically beat everyone in their path. And I just want the record to reflect that Matt is a good player because he has a plan and because he executes the plan, not because he's got pixie dust that he's using to throw all over you people and just be better. Like, come on, that's all. That's all. This is my rebuttal, and now I rest my case. And Todd's probably going to take all this out of context, so go for it.
no, you're good. I'll let you have your moment. I mean, I'll probably come back around at some point in time and give you a hard time again later because that's what I do. But
Fine, fine, it's all fine.
but no, I mean it's so. Matt is the ambassador at Gamers Guild for Shatterpoint, so I want to support his endeavors to sit there and help grow the community locally. So I decided to go to Gamers Guild on Friday. We ended up getting 6 players just for his normal play night, which is not bad, but not great, not bad. So it was basically Tater and Sean, who's a local. Sean plays MCP a lot. He's a very on the competitive scene that I run. So there's him. And then I played against Samson, and Matt was doing a teaching game that night. Samson literally ran me over. And it was like, it's funny how you talk about, being dice, like blaming the magic pixie dust or what have you. I mean, but no, he just ran me over. It was part of it.
Like, but no, it really was the dice. It really
No,
was the dice.
it was not. It was. I mean, he ran me over. It was ugly.
Wait, so what happened? What happened?
So
What was
I
everybody
mean,
playing?
I wanted to try playing Vader 1 with Asajj, and
Ooh, yeah.
part of the problem I had with that is, I mean, yes, dice do dice. Holy moly, did I not sit there and do what I needed to do with Vader? Like I took the damage. I had to take the damage in order to sit there and roll enough dice to sit there and make the damage happen, basically. So I put myself in a bad situation, which was kind of what we were talking about last week, where it's like I didn't want to take the damage for Vader dice, but it was like, in order for me to do what I need to do in my game plan, I have to sit there and take this damage to make sure I can do the wounds that I need to do, type of a thing. Um, So there was a lot of that where it's like I put myself in a bad situation, even though I'm like sitting there going, no, this isn't the right thing to do, but this is the only way I'm going to sit there and make the most out of this activation type of a thing. So there was a lot of those moments. Um, but I mean, his dice were hot the entire game too. He did have very hot dice, and I mean, he even said it multiple times after the game where he's like, "Yeah, my dice were just hot." It's like, yeah, but let's not minimize the fact that Chris is a really good player. I mean, I'm not going to take that away from him in any way, shape, or form. He is an amazing player. Like he doesn't play a lot, like go out to a lot of the big events, and he at least up to this point in time anyway he hasn't gone out to a lot of the big events. He's probably going to go up when we start actually doing when we do LVO. I'm quite positive he's going to be up there playing. I wouldn't be surprised to see him making his way all the way up to Adepticon. So he's a very good player, but oh my goodness, did he just ran me over. And he was playing, oh my, was he playing Vader too? He was playing Luke. I know he was playing Luke. And I don't think it was Vader. No, it was oh, I'm drawing a blank. I want to say it was Gideon again. I think he was playing a Luke Gideon list, but he beat the crud out of me. It was not even close. He beat me in two
So is
struggles.
whoa. So is
Yeah,
he playing like Stormtrooper Sergeant and Stormtroopers under Luke, and then like the Gideon box? That's what it.
I want to say that's right, but I could probably be very wrong because it was a long day. Like this week has been a long week for me. My daughter is getting ready to go into high school and had cheerleader tryouts all week long, which was stressful enough. And then she does dance, so she had her end of the year dance recital on top of that. So it was like, and then we're getting the end of the school year. She goes to a school where she has to do like part of her being in school is she has to do volunteer work. So it was like all of this happened this week. I'm just like I'm exhausted. Plus, like I'm still going through all of the waiting to see if I get promoted and all of that stuff. So it's been a wild week for me. So it was just like one of those where it's like it was more just me getting out of the house and wanting to play and roll some dice. And it's like, I'm okay with like, and like I said, I am perfectly fine getting beat up, especially like by when it's good players like Matt, Liam, like a lot of our locals that are just very good players. If you beat the crap out of me, hey, I'm fine with it. I just want to get out of the house and play a game, and that's fine. You're gonna be better than me at sometimes, and maybe sometimes I'll be better than you, type of a thing. So it was just fun. It was a fun night.
Yeah. Wait. So what were you playing? So you said Vader and Asajj, but like, what were your lists?
So it was Vader with I had Arfs. No, I had Magna Guard and Django, and then it was an all Dothamarian list with Asajj and Savage and the Night Sisters. Now Savage just
Nice.
did not hold up in this. I don't. Again, like he ran me over really quick, so I didn't really get a lot out of it. Oh, he was running Luke Anakin. That was what it was. He was running Luke Anakin, and Anakin beat the crap out of me. That's
Wait,
why that
Luke Anakin?
yes, he was running Luke Anakin. I remember that now because Anakin just beat the living you know what out of people. Anakin was a monster. It was very good. And
What?
yeah. And his
I,
that's how he won the game. His last activation was Anakin just beating the crap out of my team.
Fascinating. Okay.
It was a very
Okay.
good. It was very good. That's what it was. It was Luke Anakin beating the crap out of the Sith. Yeah.
All right. All right. I was not expecting that, but okay.
Yeah, it was a good list. It
Alrighty
was
then.
he did very. I mean, like I said, Anakin just did what he needed to do in that game. He was there was times like I know he used a lot of force in before he refreshed his deck the first time, and he didn't even get to do this is when I'm going to end this to end up with like beating me, but he didn't even need to. Like that's how well he was just like whooping the you know what out of me. He whooped me like I was a redneck's bad dog. It was awful.
What? What? Okay, I have not heard that before.
I,
Okay,
I come
all
up with
right,
random stuff. Just you know me. I'm just gonna
all
come
right.
up with like some random things. So yeah, but no, it was a fun game. It was a good night. I mean, Gamers Guild is a great store. I like going there. I mean, that's a nice thing about being where we are locally in Arizona. We have so many good miniature gaming store or just gaming stores in general that we can just on any given night go and play. So
Yes, very very nice, very nice. I know some people have been struggling with community building in recent weeks, maybe because there's only one or two stores nearby. So
mhm.
I do feel like we get to be a little lucky down here in Phoenix,
We
where
are
there's
for sure,
multiple places we can go to.
for sure. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into it. We're going to start by talking about Commander Iden Versio. Is that how you pronounce it? Versio? Versio?
Probably. I don't know. So hey, come on, Todd. I haven't actually finished Battlefront 2. Like, here's my shame as a Star Wars fan. I have started it. Like, I know who this character is, but I don't know how the story ends because I try to do a good job of avoiding spoilers if I know I'm gonna play a game. But like, I started Battlefront 2 and then I never actually finished it. So I'm
Awesome.
sure. I'm sure she's a great character. Like, yay!
I mean, she's part of the Galactic, Republic, so, or the Empire, I should say. So, she's a girl after my own heart, that's for sure. So let's go.
Oh, okay.
But let's talk about Commander Iden. So she is an 8 squad point, 3 force primary unit. She does have the Galactic Empire and a scout tag, and she is only from the Galactic Civil War era. So primary unit, she has 9 stamina, 3 durability. So a little light on the stamina for a primary, but not too crazy.
Yeah, no, this is. I mean, so we're at the point where these stats are now going to kind of signify things, right? So like tens, 11s, those are like our heavy hitters, big deal characters, the really tanky ones, and this is she's special forces. Like, is she powerful? Yes, but is she Darth Vader? No. So yeah, stats make sense to me.
No, I mean, and as we know, I mean, she's not a force user, so she's probably not going to be carrying a lightsaber and running straight into battle. And that is reflected in that stamina 9 as well. So, but yeah, let's take a look at her abilities. So she starts out, she has her active ability of Today the Rebellion Dies. At the start of this unit's activation, each other allied Galactic Empire Scout character within 4 that is not engaged may dash, then one character in this unit may dash. So she gets her movement, but it's really just for Galactic Empire scouts. So it's really, and they cannot be engaged. So not the greatest, in my opinion.
This is one of those abilities where it's going to be really good at the beginning of the game, and then that's going to drop off as the game goes on. Like, I mean, at the very least, like, no matter what, she gets the dash, so
Yeah.
that's not terrible. But yeah, if you're looking for that giant global effect,
And
not gonna
range
get
four
this
is
all the
not,
time.
yeah, range 4 is not great. It's not awful, but it's okay. So it's not the best, but you know what? The Empire is a lot of good stuff going on right now. I don't think they need a lot more help, so it's okay if she's not the best thing in the game for sure. So yeah, so she has 2 active abilities though. That first one is called Covert Operations. This one costs a force. Each character in this unit may dash, and then if one or more character ends their movement within 4 of an enemy character, this unit immediately makes a focus action, and the character in this unit, they have sharpshooter 1 until the end of turn, which is nice. So this is kind of cool where she doesn't have to get engaged. She can move and be able to sit there and get that free focus action. And then so she's going to get 2 dice if she does a range attack.
Yeah, yeah. So, spoilers, jumping ahead, everyone in this box has this ability, covert operations, and I think it's just good. I kind of like this template of you spend a force, you get a dash plus some kind of bonus. Like, we're
Mhm.
we're seeing we're seeing AMG expand into different territory instead of like just being a hunker token or just being a focus action. Now we're seeing this one where, well, not only do they get a focus action, but they also get sharpshooter 1 now. So it's just, no notes. We know that extra movement is good. And again, this character just by herself is probably going to have two dashes and a move action available to you at any given
Right.
activation.
So pretty good movement. She's going to definitely be able to get into the positions that she wants to in order to do what you're hoping to do throughout the game here. So that's nice. Her other active ability is called ID-10 Seeker Droid. Again, this one costs one force. Choose an enemy unit within range 3. The chosen unit removes all its hunker. If no hunker were removed, the chosen character or chosen unit, I should say, gains an expose.
Can, can we just talk about how Galactic Republic is still going to have problems just because of this ability? like, like, uh, this ability is already most of the time going to hand out an expose in exchange for a force, which is a fine rate. That's fine. But then, like, Obi-Wan's whole thing, especially when now that we have the Clone Force 99 box, like I'm have a feeling we're gonna see some more Obi-Wan with hunkers, and this ability is like, no, you don't get to play games with me, Obi-Wan. You're not on the high ground. I'm stealing the high ground out from under you.
Yeah, if you're playing in a premiere event and you see Iden across the board, you're like, well, you know what? I think I'm just going to leave Obi in the box for this round.
Yep. Nope. You are just not. Don't even try. Don't even try. Because this thing just basically says spend a force, ruin specifically the Galactic Republic's day.
Yeah, no, it's a pretty rough one. So yeah, very direct counter to Obi-Wan, that's for sure. And then there's one last ability that she has. It's called, and this is her identity. The Empire sends its regards. When an allied Galactic Empire character wounds an enemy unit with an attack, after the attack is resolved, that allied character may choose another enemy within range 4. The chosen unit gains disarm or strain. Then the allied character may do a heal and dash. Wow, that's a lot.
Right. This is kind of scary because I mean the giving out a disarm or a strain, like that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. But the fact that, all right, so it's when you're wounding somebody, now you have an allied character, healing and dashing. So it's that, right? It's the same one that did the wounding, right? I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking at this, making sure. So you could, in theory, wound somebody on one point to flip that point, then dash over here, put Iden on that point, and possibly flip 2 points. Depending on what's going on the board. But basically, because you're doing this on your attack, you can plan out this whole sequence of events where you're taking two objectives if this works right,
No, I don't think
right?
so. So it's like you choose an allied unit, you give, or an enemy unit within 4, you give the enemy unit that expose, and then the allied unit, the allied character. So
Yeah,
you're
no,
still,
no,
it's,
no.
yeah,
That's what I mean.
yeah.
So you could wound. So my point is that so you could wound somebody on one point, right?
Hmm.
With that whenever your whatever activation that you're on, and then the allied character can dash, right? Is it?
Yeah.
Wait, that's what I was trying to figure out. Is it
Yes.
Iden or is it the character who's doing the
It's
wounding?
the allied character, the character that does the wounding.
Oh, okay. That's what I was. All right. Let me
Yeah, it's
look at
not
this again.
Iden. It's not this character. It's the allied character.
Oh, okay, never mind. All right, I'm slightly less excited. It's still good. It's still good. I thought it was I had a mix up. I thought it was Iden that was getting the dash. All right.
No, that would be pretty good because then yeah, you could definitely flip 2 points there. But no, this one it's
Okay.
only
Okay.
it's only that allied character that did the wounding originally. At least that's the way that
Right.
I read this.
But still, regardless, sometimes you get into these scenarios where you can't quite move up onto a point. You have to hope that you like fire, do a shove, and then the shove puts you in position. This ability is going to give you a chance to just make that happen. Like you now have the flexibility of doing more ranged attacks. So that's still
Right.
good. It's still good.
Oh yeah, no, I think it's great. Well, let's look at her stance card. So of course, being a primary, she's going to have two sides to her stance card. The first side that we look at here is called Burst Fire. Now, here's the nice thing: she does have range 5 attacks, and if we look at her card, she really wants to be attacking at range. So it's 7 dice for her range attack, 6 for her melee, 5 across the board on this one. Not a whole like it's either a condition. on the first one, she doesn't. I mean, she does deal out a significant amount of damage. Can go. What is this? Looks like about 9 damage total. She can dish out on this side. 9 or 8 or 9 damage if she goes all the way down her tree. So not too bad. I mean, she can. That's taken out most secondaries for sure. If she gets at least actually down to 5. But she only has one shove on this side, and that is on her third step. So you're really not looking at a lot of displacement here.
Yeah, I'm really trying. Like I've been looking at her stances for a minute here because it they're very close to one another. One has a little bit more healing early on, a little bit more shoving, but like there's not a lot of difference here. I mean, the only difference is that you're hitting a little bit harder in ranged on the other side. So
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to evaluate this. Like normally we'd be like, ah, yeah, this is a melee side, the other side's the range side. But no, she has like a slightly more condition providing side and a little bit more damage providing side, and then she's got Shove City on the other side. So I don't
Right.
know how you describe these two.
Right. And to put this, I guess, into even more context. So looking at her expertise chart on this side, on the burst fire, she has the TL50 heavy blaster. 1 gets you a crit, 2 to 3 gets you 2 crits, 4+ gets you 2 crits, and reduces a block to a failure. Her advanced combat training, which is the melee, 1 to 2 gets you a block and reduces a block to a failure, and then 3+ gives you 2 blocks and reduces 2 blocks to a failure, which is, I mean, getting rid of blocks altogether is really amazing. And then she has a special forces armor for the defensive expertise. 1 gets you 2 blocks, 2 gets you 2 blocks and a heal, 3 gets you 2 blocks, a heal, and a reposition. And just to kind of give perspective, the range, or not the range, but the melee and the defensive expertise are the same on both sides of her card. The one on the full auto side, the other side, is a little bit better for her TL50 blaster.
Yeah, well, it's weird actually. So they're identical defensive expertise, except the numbers are different. Because on the other
Yeah,
side, it's 1 to 2, 3, and then 4. So I
that is true.
guess I guess the burst fire is her defensive side, quote unquote, and her full auto is the more offensive side, but you give up a tiny bit of defensive expertise. This is a very interesting design. Okay, all right.
Yeah, but like to kind of go ahead, her full auto side, the offensive expertise for her range attack, it's
You.
1 to 2 gives you a crit, but then it reduces a block to a failure. 3 to 4 gives you 2, reduces a block to a failure, and 5+ gives you 2 crits, and then 2 reductions of blocks to failures. The dice are pretty much the same, except for you get 1 more, so 8 total at range, still 6 at melee. 5 for range attack, 4 for melee attack for defensive dice. So really, you just want to keep her at range. I mean, is really what this is. You don't want her in the fight at all, as far as the way I would look at it.
No, no, she is. She's definitely a ranged fighter, which is kind of what we've been expecting. Other content creators have been saying this. The Empire is not like the era of the Empire and the Rebellion is not lightsaber city. Everybody is not just running in there hacking and slashing. This is we're moving into the shoot 'em up era of Shatterpoint now.
And I like that. I mean, I like having something other than a bunch of lightsabers and running in the middle and fighting. Like this is going to open up other strategies. So where it's like the gun line strategies are staying back, holding the back points, and shooting into the middle points, and trying to sit there and do that, and not just have that big scrum in the middle. I think I kind of like where this could end up going.
Yeah, she definitely feels like a sabotage showdown primary. That is
Yep,
for sure.
without a doubt. Yeah, so that's her. Let's go ahead and take a look. So there's one secondary unit. There's 2 different supports that we can have. So the secondary is Gideon Hask from the Inferno Squad. He is a Galactic Empire, also a scout, and only Galactic Civil War. He is 4 point cost, 0 force. A secondary, he has 8 stamina, 2 durability. So again, pretty standard as far as that goes. We don't have the good 10 stamina like we do on some other ones, but he's still pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. No notes here. This is a secondary. These are secondary stats.
Mhm. So he has 2 active abilities. The first one being Long Live the Empire. This one costs 1 force. You choose an active objective and an allied Galactic Empire support unit. One character in the chosen unit may reposition towards that objective. Then the chosen unit suffers 2 damage. If this effect wounds the character, or wounds the chosen unit, I should say, that unit may remove 1 wound token, all damage, and 1 condition from itself. If it does, the unit gains an injured token. So we've seen this before.
Yeah, no, I believe what we said about that last time still holds true. I don't think you are going to want to take advantage of that if the effect wounds the chosen unit uh, quality of this ability all the time, because you're just going to set yourself up for, you know, dog piling on where they're like, oh, cool, he's awake again. I'm going to shoot him again.
Right.
So you're gonna want to use this more for the okay, we're gonna reposition, we're gonna take some damage, and hopefully you're flipping a point when or at least contesting an objective when you use this ability. But
Exactly.
don't wound them. You, they're gonna get attacked right away.
They're support units. You don't want to destroy them too much. I mean, and like I said, we've heard this from Will Schick before, that this is a theme that we're going to see throughout the Empire, with the wounding to move and wounding to get a benefit of some sort. So, or not wounding, but doing damage to get some sort of a benefit. So it's, he talked about this during Adepticon at the interview that we had with him, where it was, this is just something we're going to see through the Empire. It's a running theme with them to do the damage to get an effect of some sort.
Yeah, no, I like it. It's
Mhm.
it's a good ability. Yeah, I'm just saying, you again, don't worry about all the
Situational.
text on this one. Yeah,
Yeah,
don't worry about all the
situational.
text.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other active ability, we've already talked about this one, and just on Aiden's last card there, which is covert operations, the 1 force ability. So no need to go back into that one, but it is just like you said, we're going to be seeing this pretty much through this entire box.
Yep. No notes. It's still good. It's a dash for a force plus an extra effect.
Exactly. All right, and then there's 2 innate abilities. The first one being, may we live up to our name. There's no force associated with this one, at least on, until they get injured or wounded. When a unit is wounded by an attack, after the attack is resolved, one character in this unit may immediately dash and make a 5 dice attack targeting the character that wounded it. I like this on a secondary unit. This is amazing.
Yeah. No, this is cool because up until now, I believe we've only seen this on certain primaries. I don't think we've seen it on a secondary. So I no, it's a good ability. It's great. I love anything that punishes my opponent for doing what they need to do in the game.
Right? Yeah, no, this is great, and I like it. I mean, it's like, you hurt my guys. Okay, I'll come back and hurt you some then. So I like it. I like what this is doing here. And then the last ability he has is another innate ability called Defiance will be the death of you. When an allied Galactic Empire character makes an attack as part of a combat action, if the target is within 5 of 1 or more allied Galactic Empire scout characters, it has hit to the it adds a hit to the attack roll. So you just get a hit.
Yeah, yeah. So this is what we're seeing with this box is not only do you want to try and keep them within that item bubble if you can, depending on the circumstances of the game, but now this is really good. You're just getting an extra strike to any attack, and all they have to do is be within range 5. Whew, it's gonna make everybody hit harder.
It is. I think this is just going to be, just some more damage. I mean, we don't have any additional Galactic Empire scouts, so I think we don't see much here that this synergizes with right now outside of this box. But there might be stuff coming down the board. You never know when, if we get like the scout troopers, the ones that used to be on the bikes or something along those lines. So I think there's definitely possibilities to see this synergize with other stuff more down the road.
Yeah, Yeah, no, I have a feeling we're gonna get another, another Endor box of some kind
Mhm.
where it's like maybe it's an ATSD driver and the scout troopers, and then I don't know some sort of officer or so, I don't know, somebody.
Yeah, and we don't even know what's everything that's. I don't think we know everything that's coming with Veers. I mean, he might have some scouts with him too. You never know.
Oh yeah, there you go. Some of those snow troopers could be scouts.
Exactly. They could have that tag. So yeah, I mean it looking pretty good. Well, let's look at his stance card. His is called Imperial Aggression. Also range 5 for his range attack. So 7 dice at range, 6 at melee, 5 across the board. For his defensive dice, he has the 11 blaster rifle. 1 to 2 on the expertise gets you a crit and a damage. 3 gets you a crit, reducing a crit and then reduce a block to a failure with the damage, and then 4+ gets you 2 crits, reduce a failure to a damage and or a failure to a block, and then 1 damage. And then his advanced combat training for his melee 1 to 2 gets you a block, reducing that block to a failure. 3+ gets you 2 crits, reducing a block to a failure. And then his special forces armor 1 gets you a block and a heal. 2 to 3 gets you 2 blocks and a heal. 4+ gets you 2 blocks, a heal, and a reposition. Again, really nice with that block reduction.
Yeah, no, this I like that we're seeing this now, and the is this even the second wave? Is this like the third wave? We're probably on the third wave now. And in any event, I really like this new thing that they've added into the expertise, where we have some changing defensive roles. And I mean, this seems right. I mean, again, these are ranged units. You're gonna want to try and use that ranged expertise as much as possible. But they're not as bad as you'd expect in melee. I mean, if you have to.
Yeah, not horrible. I mean, it's not a lot less dice. So they're just better at ranged for sure. So and looking, I mean, his tree. If you go on the bottom, it's shove on 1, shove on 2, dash on 3, and then 2 damage. So his, or you could just go across the top where it's 2 damage, a damage and a strain, and then a shove and a damage. But 2 shoves on 1 and 2, and then a dash is pretty amazing.
Yeah, no, I like his tree, and then it all ends up together with another dash, a damage, and a heal. Which I don't know how often you're getting there with him, unless you're. I don't know if this is a box you want to play with Vader one, but I mean, you do you. Um, but regardless, that bottom one, like, cool, 2 successes, shove, done. All right, let's
Right?
move on. That's
Yeah.
all you needed.
Exactly. No, I think this is great. So I think I like I mean where this box is going. It is you do get the special forces thing going on here. I mean they're definitely showing the elite forces that these guys are supposed to represent. So I'm excited about this. So there's going on to the next. There's 2 different support units. Let's start with the named support unit. That's Del Mico from the Inferno Squad. This is a 4-point cost, 0 force support unit. It's just a single model. Again, has the Scout and Galactic Empire tag and only Galactic Civil War era. He does have an active ability called Trick Shot. So at the start of this unit's activation, if no character in this unit are engaged, you choose an enemy unit in line of sight. The chosen unit suffers 1 damage and removes all its hunkers. So again, we hate Obi-Wan.
Yeah, I was gonna say, basically, there is an anti-Galactic Republic tech in here. So if for some reason you have been menaced by Obi-Wan Kenobi, you are entitled to compensation in the form of bringing this box to beating up on Obi-Wan.
Yep, Liam, I'm coming for you with this box. I just want you to know that.
Hey, it's Todd's turn. Todd can go after local players. I'm done. You're all great.
Awesome. So yeah. So I mean, this one is definitely an anti Obi-Wan for sure. And then again, the other act he has 1 active ability. I don't think we need to go into it. It's covert operations for a force.
Right. Although with his innate ability is pretty good.
Yep. So there's 2 different innate abilities here. The first one being Deadeye. Characters in this unit have Sharpshooter 2. When a character in this unit makes a range attack, the target does not benefit from cover.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, so if you use covert operations for a force, you are going to be rolling three
3 dice.
extra dice, assuming that you get the the ending this movement within four of an enemy character. Like that's all you
Yeah,
got to do.
right. Right. And
Oof.
any character within line of sight, you just remove their hunker tokens anyway, so that target does not benefit from cover. Kind of, it's a kind of a wash just because of his active ability. But yeah, why not? Let's just add 3 extra dice to our attack roll and see what happens. So yeah, this is definitely, the special forces are just all snipers. It seems like here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, what's the next innate ability,
Exactly.
Todd?
And that innate ability is called Special Forces Sniper. This unit may make a combat action up to 2 times during its activation instead of the normal one. So yes, he has Sharpshooter 2. Oh yeah, and he also can attack twice.
Yeah, yeah. No, this guy, I. So it's always tricky when you only have one model versus two models because we know, a lot of times you can just flip priorities, not even by attacking priorities, objectives. You can flip objectives just by putting two bodies on it sometimes. So,
Mhm.
and he doesn't have any sort of, beating ties thing, but apparently how he's beating ties is by throwing in a couple of headshots. Boom, boom,
Right?
dash up. Okay, this point's mine because y'all are dead.
Right? Yeah, no, he's pretty good. So, and he has a really interesting stance card. So, looking at his stance card, it's called Suppressive Fire. Range 5, which we would expect from a sniper. 6 dice for his range and 6 dice for his melee. Of course, Sharpshooter 2, you're looking at probably making that 9 dice. Uh, but his DLT 19X targeting blaster, 1 to 2 expertise gets a shove. 3 to 4 gives you a crit and a shove. 5 plus gets you 2 crits and a shove. So 1 expertise is just a shove, even if you don't get a hit. That's wild.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So you want to roll expertise with this guy? Like, cool. So
Right.
like two successes, and an expertise gives you 3 damage, a disarm, and a shove. Like, all right.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll
pretty
I'll
good.
take that.
Pretty good. So his melee pretty much kind of on par for what we've seen here for the advanced combat tactics. 1 to 3 gets you a crit and a failure from a block to a failure, and then 4 plus gets you 2 crits and a block to a failure. His special forces armor 1 to 2 is a block and a heal. 3 is 2 blocks and a heal. 4 plus is 2 blocks, a heal, and a reposition. There are no shoves on his tree though, so that is something to keep in mind, is if you're wanting any type of displacement with this guy, you need to hope that you roll an expertise.
Yeah, that is. I guess that is weird. That you're gonna have these moments where you don't roll an expertise, and you're gonna be disappointed. But so be it.
Yeah. I mean, but it's for, I mean, for the unit that he is, he's a really interesting. I think he's going to be kind of fun to play with. I mean, just to do something a little different. I mean, if you, especially if you're looking for that gun line, I mean, and there's a lot going on with the Empire where you're not really trying to wound everybody anymore. You're just trying to sit there and maybe manipulate points.
Yeah, yeah. This feels very much like maybe you're pairing this with like the stormtroopers and Vader 2, and so you're doing a lot of like I'm staying in the my back area, but I'm shooting at everything, and then Vader's the one who's roaming about the earth, making everybody sad.
Yeah, but even if you use Vader too, I mean, you're not really wanting to wound people, so you can kind of refresh him and kind of just have him do his thing. So it's, I can see this being part of a, I manipulate the board, I control the board, but don't kill everything type of a list. But that's just me thinking outside the box, I guess, or before the box is released, maybe. Thinking before the box.
You're putting the box before the horse. I don't know, something like that. Something like that.
Something like that. But yeah, so I mean, I think this is pretty interesting. So there is one last supporting unit in this, and this is the 2 unit, or the 2 character unit, and that is the Imperial Special Forces. Again, 4 point cost, 0 force. 8 stamina, 2 durability for this support unit with the Galactic Empire Scout and Galactic Civil War era character. So again, pretty standard for a 2 unit.
Yeah, I mean, yet again, they have more health than clones. I'm just
It,
gonna keep pointing that out until the end of time. That's
yeah,
my only note.
okay, Mr. Bitter, I got you. No, but so they have one active ability called Special Forces Conditioning. At the start of the unit's activation, it may remove a damage and a condition from itself. What? On a
That's
support unit?
it's so good. Like it's not one damage or a condition. It's
It's both.
both. Like because again, a lot of times we try to keep you down with pins so that all this extra movement that we've seen in this box doesn't impact us that much. No pin for you. Too
Nope.
bad. You just keep going.
Yeah, get rid of that damage and go forward. So yeah, and then again, covert operations. Like I said, we've seen this on every single card so far this box. So nothing new to say, but still good, still good.
Yep.
And then the innate ability that they have is called infiltration. When deploying characters in this unit, characters may place within 3 of the first placed character from the squad's primary unit instead of the normal 1. So yeah, just go ahead and put them on the center line.
Yeah, can we talk about? I mean, I hate to bring this up again, but can we talk about how this is better than pods? Like the pawns tax was supposed to be that, oh well, you get to move your stuff up more, and now the Imperial Special Forces are like, hey, hold my beer, let's go.
Right? The imps are just better, man. The imps are just better.
It's that's fine. It's fine. All right. All kidding aside, no. This is great. Like this is weird. This is gonna create some weird scenarios where normally not a lot of combat happens in like the first two turns, right? Like a lot of times is just, well, I go and take this point. I go and take that point. We're moving and taking cover, and then suddenly attacking is happening. But like if I'm not mistaken, this is going to make it so like some ranged attackers on your opponent's side would actually be able to target them, right? Like, isn't that
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
like,
But you know what's really interesting
yeah,
with this one is you look at the Never Tell Me the Odd squad or the mission pack that's coming out, not the squad pack, but
mm-hmm.
this
Yeah,
mission pack. It's like that one point that's like just south of center or just south of the center line in the center. They can probably be right up on that point.
yeah. So this is gonna be this is gonna create all new kinds of headaches, and I'm ready for it. I wanna see how what this deployment does to the game, and even just mission pack selection.
Yeah. I mean, like deploying them 3, getting covert operations early, and just moving them onto wherever you want. Really, I mean, you can have them on the center line, and then rolling this going into the stance card 8 dice at ranged into wherever they want to roll those attack dice into. It's like it's pretty cool.
Right? Right? That's really good. The Empire, I really hope the Rebel Alliance can survive this because the name of this box, Today the Rebellion Dies. That's what it's feeling like, right? Isn't that or whatever.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that that
that's
is it. Yeah.
Whew, yeah. I actually don't know, Todd. So if you were gonna pick one, which one would you try first? Do you want to try Del Mico or do you want to try these guys? Or guy and
It
girl,
is
I guess.
it is rough. I don't even know. I mean, I kind of like the idea of being able to just put these guys and have them shooting into almost the deployment zone right off the bat. It just seems pretty interesting if you can get these guys early in an early activation. So I think I might try these guys early because I like to roll dice as soon as possible. So I think that would probably be why I would run just the special forces right off the bat. But yeah, but before we jump into that piece of it, let's take a look at their stance card. So like I was
Yeah.
saying, they have 6 dice for range, 5 for melee on their attack dice, 5 and 4 for their defensive dice. E11 blaster rifle for their expertise. 1 to 2 gets you a crit. 3 plus gets you 2 crits. Vibro blades for their melee. 1 gets you a strike. 2 gets you 2 strikes. 3 plus gets you a crit and a strike. And their special forces armor, 1 is a block, 2 is 2 blocks, 3 plus is 2 blocks and a heal. That's pretty good for a support.
Yeah,
Better,
no, these
better,
are
better than
they
some
seem
dirty
good.
clones.
I don't actually have anything to say there. You're not wrong. You're you're not wrong.
There's no
Mm,
displacement on their card though. Looking at their tree, no displacement anywhere on their card at all. It's a pretty straightforward. Looking at their tree itself, it's mostly all damage. Other than at 2, they have a pin. At 3, you can either go to the top for 2 damage, or at the bottom is just a damage and a strain. Outside of that, it's just damage. It's like basically you can do up to 8 damage and a reposition and a pin if you wanted to go the top route, or 7 damage with a reposition, a pin, and a strain. So interesting.
yeah, I was gonna say, now that I'm looking at their tree, that does make you a little anxious. Although I mean, they could do eight damage in theory with. I mean, I know it's 5 successes, but it's almost like these guys are like, I'm not shoving you, I'm wounding you. That's how we're
Yeah.
doing this.
Yeah. I mean, and especially if you got them on the center line, you push them up forward and you're rolling 8 dice into the deployment zone almost because they have range 5. You pretty much could just wound something before it even gets a chance to activate, depending on like how you position and stuff.
Yeah, if you get some good rolls. Interesting. I think I might be with you, Todd. I mean, not that I would try both of them if this is something, if this is a squad pack you're interested in, but I have a feeling that the Imperial Special Forces might be the one to go with.
I mean, there's a lot of options here, so I like it. I mean, it's pretty interesting. So I mean, like we like to say for our dear local listeners, if you were to pick up this box and just put this box into a squad, who would you put this box with?
I mean, I'm thinking starting it off with the Vader 2 box. I mean,
Mhm.
I have been really impressed. I mean, I haven't played very much with it, but I've been really impressed with the stormtroopers the action that they can take to like shove people away like that. I mean, I know you had an experience with that, Todd, at the tournament.
Yeah.
So I'm inclined to just put them with that box. I mean, I haven't really dug into Gideon's box yet. I don't know, but my first thought is Vader and the Stormtroopers. That's what I'm starting with.
Yeah, I think Vader and the Stormtroopers is probably the best way to go. You get like kind of a Vader control list going on. I also think though that Gideon is just as good. I don't think that is wrong either. Gideon one a Gideon control also is kind of a good way to go. I mean, that tax that he puts on you being able to put things in reserve is brutal, absolutely brutal, because it's just like, oh, you mean I lose like a third of my force? And most, like, if you're not running somebody that has 4 force, in order to reserve something, you're using a third of your force. So it's brutal. And that the escorts are just strong with having that sharpshooter 1 and protection. There's just so much going on with his box that I don't see. I mean, and everything in that box, I should say, has protection. Like these dark troopers, you just can't move them. They have protection and they're immune to being pinned. It's like they're just. I mean, so that box in and of itself is just amazing. So I think anything Empire wise would go great with this box. I don't think you're wrong to sit there and play either one of them. I would be nice to see a something that had a maybe the scout tag just to sit there and add a little bit of synergy, but we don't have that in the Galactic Empire yet.
Yeah, yeah. So sounds like I'm on the Vader box. You might be on the Gideon box
I think so.
if you're gonna try something out.
I think so. I mean, but I mean, Gideon's just so strong right now. Like I said, that Gideon tax for reserves just like is backbreaking because sometimes you just, especially early in the game, like let's say you pull your primary and you're like, I don't want to go with my primary yet, but if I put my primary into reserve, I'm getting rid of
Yeah.
2 force. I mean, it's just it's not going to come up every time, but when it does come up, man, that's a kick in the nuts.
Yeah, yep. That sounds about right, Todd. That sounds about right. Oof.
So yeah, but that's kind of where I am with it. But yeah, before we close out the podcast here for the day, I always like to go back and at least thank each and every one of our patrons. You guys are amazing. Thank you for all the support that you give us. We don't think we have any new patrons this week, but we do thank each and every one of you for everything that you do. You definitely help keep us running. If it wasn't for you, I probably would have quit by now, but because Aubrey just drives me crazy. So,
Yes, and we are working on the bonus episodes. I know those are a little bit behind. We had some technical issues we had to re-record, so we're
right,
getting there.
We're getting there. But yeah, but I do want to thank all of you guys for the continued support. All the conversations that we have in our Discord are always fun to sit there and just hang out and listen to everybody and me putting puns of Aubrey and different screenshots of Aubrey telling people how much he hates Matt Butcher because he's better than all of us. So
I, I am known for picking on everyone in our local players group. I am just a bully. Yeah.
you are the bully known as Aubrey. So yeah, but no, I do want to thank all of them for listening. I know this is a little late in the game. I don't know if anybody had a chance to. If you had a chance to listen to the latest Zion's Finest episode, they were talking because they're going to have their Zi-Fi Invitational here in like 2 weeks. Their big event that they actually have people flying in for. They talked about the idea of etiquette for tournaments and for gameplay and things along those lines. And I thought that was a really great episode. So if you do get a chance to sit there and listen to that one, that's definitely worthwhile. I know we're getting ready to, we're still continuously working on getting everything ready for LVO, and a lot of what they were saying is definitely a lot of the philosophy that I have towards approaching tournament organization. And I know that that's going to be, if you're expecting to go to LVO, a lot of what they were saying is basically going to be a lot of the same things that I reiterate during player meetings and things along those lines, as far as etiquette and just overall being a good person. So I would definitely give Kenny and all of the guys over there at Zion's Finest to listen, because that's they got some good stuff going on.
Yeah, I've been a little obsessed with the Thrawn series. I've been listening to those audiobooks, so I'm kind of behind. But I think I'm gonna stop and go listen to that episode because
It was a good
that
one.
sounds like a good episode.
It was a good one for sure. Well, yeah, I think that closes up for the day. I again want to thank each and every one of our listeners for tuning in and listening to Aubrey tell us everything about not playing video games, because he doesn't like to play video games enough to finish them. He just starts them.
Well, somebody asked me to do this podcast with him, and it turns out it takes away from my video game time, Todd. It's fine.
Yeah, fair enough. You like doing this nonsense with me. You're like, I can't. You got the bug. It's all right. But no, again, thanks everyone for listening. We do appreciate all of you, and as always, may the force be with you.
May the force be with you.